The revealed manifest presence of God is here at Glory FM.
Nothing like a smooth transition into the midday. Be sure to tune to The Shift Monday to Friday at 12:30 p.m. with Joinae Gibson on Glory 93.9 FM. The freshest wave of glory to hit the Bahamas.
It's an amazing day here at Glory 93.9 FM. It's 12:30, so you know exactly what that means. You are tuned in and, of course, always locked and loaded on The Shift with yours truly. I am willing to bet every time, my bottom dollar, that there is nothing like a smooth transition into the midday. Thank you for all those tuned in via Glory 93.9 FM, all those on Facebook, YouTube, and, of course, our worldwide listeners. Hey, I pray that you're having an amazing day. Hey, Mr. Nixon, I pray all is well with you. I want to make this very bold statement by starting today's show and saying to you, you're never going to feel ready, because ready isn't a feeling, it is a decision. You're never going to feel ready because ready, hey, Miss Mackey, because ready isn't a feeling, it is a decision. So you know how we always say statements like, okay, I don't know, I don't feel like this could go good. I don't feel like I'm ready. I'm going to wait until I feel like I could write the book. I'm going to wait until I feel like, I am vocally, and you see, touching the throat, vocally ready to attempt that song. I'm going to wait until I feel like I have studied enough. I have tarried enough. I have something enough. And we're waiting for this feeling to be ready. When ready isn't a feeling, it is a decision. It is a conscious effort in a particular direction that, listen, I am going to attempt this whether I fail or not. The fact of the matter is going to remain that I tried. And many of you listening today and maybe rewatching this broadcast thinking, something, Joinae, I'm guilty. I'm guilty of waiting to feel ready, waiting to feel worthy, waiting to feel qualified enough. When the truth of the matter is, and I can't stress it enough, you are ready. You are ready now. Everything that you need to accomplish the task or that vision that God has placed in your spirit is already in you. It's just a matter of you to a matter of tapping into that latent possibility, that latent potentiality that's locked on the inside of you. And you say, something, I am ready. I am willing. I am conscious, and I'm going to make this decision that I'm going to go in this direction. Too many times we're waiting to be ready to go back to school, waiting, and this is something that my mom says to me all the time. I think it was mentioned to me recently, and I feel like a few months back. And you know how we say, okay, anyway, getting ready to travel, let me just do certain things and put certain things in place. And if you say, I'm going to wait until I have everything in place to make that move, to purchase that ticket, just for an example, you're never going to be ready. Something is always going to come up that seems that it's more important. Something is always going to come up that seems like, it requires your immediate attention, and you're putting it off. You're delaying yourself. You're sabotaging yourself. And this could say, that's me. No, for real, because we wait until let me explain it good. We want to wait until the conditions are perfect to then move forward. We want to wait until everything, all the ducks are in a row, and Everything is checked out. The finances are looking good. The mental space is looking good. Everything at home is good. Everything at work is good. And, we're just waiting for everything to be perfect. And could I submit to you that God could be saying to you and me today, you're never going to feel ready. You're always going to feel like, okay, I could be more prepared. I could be more ready. I could be more whatever. But being ready or readiness isn't a feeling. It's not an emotion. It is simply making a decision. What decision today are you delaying because you are waiting on a feeling to come? What decision are you delaying today? Maybe to open that business, maybe to write that book, maybe to release that song, maybe to have that conversation with someone. I remember speaking with someone very recently, and I said, man, listen, this is something I think I want to say, but I want to be sure that this is not out of a reaction, but it's really a response. And they said, honestly, if you're going back and forth thinking about it, it's not worth bringing up. If you are going back and forth thinking if you should, if you shouldn't, just make a decision. Either you're going to do it or you're not going to do it. But I promise you, whatever decision you make, you will have to live with the consequences. You will have to live with the consequence of waiting to feel ready while watching everyone around you flourish, watching everyone around you thrive, watching everyone around you walk into their God-given ability, walk into their purpose, walk into their destiny. I remember reading this book, right? Mel Robbins, and it's her book on the let them theory. And in the beginning of the book, she's telling a story, and she's saying, how she's 41 and she recently lost her job. And then, of course, her husband was, I think, in the restaurant business, and she's watching her husband's business just, crumble, fail. They are, so in debt, and she can't find the feeling to get out of bed. She can't find the feeling to, get up and do and pursue and, go out and try to deal with the finances and try to, get rid of some of the debt, right? And she's saying, she was waiting on this feeling to come, but the feeling never came. It's really a matter of making a decision. And she said she recalls very vividly, and this is where most people are at, and they are refusing to address. You are in a place where you are in so much regret, not because of the people around you, but just because of life, and life be life, and certain decisions that we make are not always right. Fine, no problem. Circumstances happen, however. But she said she remembers vividly watching everyone around her, watching all of her friends, watching all of her acquaintances, watching them thrive at their life, while for some strange reason she felt like her life was at a standstill. And that's what I'm saying to you today. If you are finding yourself looking around, and we talk about, comparison being the thief of joy, and she admitted it. She said, listen, I looked around and I was like, okay, everybody doing better than me, everybody, and they seem to be have this all together, and I am here waiting on this feeling to be ready, when the difference between me and them is a decision. They're not any better than me. They didn't have this great thing that happened. It was just a decision. So there are many of us listening today that may say, something, and we talked about it here on the shift before. We talk about making decisions, the difficulty in making those decisions. We talk about the game of life, all of these things. But when you are waiting for that feeling to be ready, you're never going to do it. If you're waiting to be qualified, if you're waiting to apply, you're waiting for that degree to apply for the job, you're never going to get it. You're never going to walk in what you feel like you should walk into, waiting on the feeling, waiting on the emotion to get ready. So what am I saying to you today? And I know it's a mouthful. I'm saying you're never going to feel ready, because ready isn't a feeling. It is not an emotion. It is a decision. Point blank. Thank you for keeping it locked and loaded with me. And we have a very interesting show ahead of us today. Today, I want to say to all those listening via Glory 93.9 FM, all those on Facebook, YouTube, and of course, our worldwide listeners, you are a shifter. We are still celebrating 1 year on air shiftiversary all month all month long. So be prepared to hear me for the rest of this month saying this very line. Today, I want to say welcome to The Shift. If you are new here, be sure to like and share the show. Be sure to, when I get to the call and text line, be sure to save those numbers in your phone because you'll understand in the by and by, right? Today's topic, and I'm so excited for today. Today's topic is charmed, manipulated, controlled. Charmed, manipulated, controlled. Now, you notice I didn't put and control, right? Charmed, manipulated, controlled. Today we're going to unpack narcissism. What is a narcissist, right? How to properly identify a narcissist, how to deal with a narcissist, and how to protect yourself and your own mental health against someone who is actually a narcissist. It is my prayer that by the end of today's show, right, you would have a better understanding of what narcissism really is, not just using the term loosely, but fully capture what it is and being able to identify when you're being charmed, manipulated, and or controlled. Because you are listening today, I don't know if y'all can hear the excitement in my voice, right? But because you are listening today, you decided to rewatch. Maybe you decided to click on that link on Facebook. That live notification popped up on your Facebook and you say, okay, the shift is on. It tells me something very important about you, and it is your desire to shift. Be it in your mind, in your spirit, in your thinking, however, but you know that it is important for you to connect to a community of shifters, and that's why you are locked and loaded. That's why you have your dial still locked in on Glory FM. If someone tagged you, I want you to know this person cares about you because they want you to shift too. They want you to be a part of the shifter community. So this is your time, no other time. This is your time to like and share this show so that you're always on beat. Be sure to follow myself and Glory 93.9 FM on all social media platforms. That is at my name, Joinae Gibson, and of course, Glory 93.9 FM, powered by life. Now, today's show is interactive. Please, y'all, let me tell what y'all shifters is do. You had a bohemian? Let me tell you what y'all shifters is do. Y'all is wait until the show over. Wait until the last few minutes in the show. Come type in my chat, in my messenger, in DMs, and saying, hey, Joinae, that was, boy, I ain't gonna lie, I like when you say, and you giving me the whole nine of the show, but you are not commenting. Please, interaction. And that is through the call and text line. The call line today is 242-827-2543. I locked and loaded for real today, y'all, right? The call line, my producer's laughing at me. Alan, I see you though. Anyway, all right. The call line today is 242-827-2543. And of course, the text line is 242-817-2544. Once again, 242 is the call line, 242-827-2543. And of course, the text line is 242-817-2544. If you just missed that, it's in the caption and at the bottom of your in the caption on your screen and in the comment section. Please feel free to participate with the call and text lines. All of the fundamentals out of the way. Now let's slow this down to have this conversation. I'm gonna pull my mic in. Can you hear me good? Am I nice? And my producer talking a lot today, doing all the head nods. Let me know, Joinae, I can hear you nice and loud. Okay, I think it's safe to say narcissism is one of those topics that's both serious and relatable, right? Most of us see narcissism in relationships, in our families, in our workplaces, in organizations, in churches. We see it all around. In relationships, that would be, your friendships, or if you're dating, or if you're married or divorced, or you have an ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend. In your family, it would be a parent or your parents or sibling or siblings, your aunts, your uncles, your cousins, nieces, nephews, the list literally goes on. Of course, in the workplace, it would be your boss, your manager, your coworker, your supervisor, someone in that work environment, and of course in organizations or in church. Now, I think all of that is self-explanatory. At this point, I believe that everyone knows a narcissist or has dealt with someone with narcissistic traits or behaviors. Now, although social media has everyone calling, and we've seen tons and tons of posts about narcissists. Oh, my boyfriend was this. Oh, my girlfriend was that. Da 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 da. And the list goes on. But social media has everyone calling everyone a narcissist without truly understanding what it means, right? Narcissism is not what you see on Facebook. It's not what you see on Instagram. It's not what you see on TikTok. But I want to clear the air of by definition, and a few more other points, what narcissism really is, right? Narcissism is not just someone who loves themselves too much or seems too arrogant or someone who is selfish in some sort of way. It is not like a personality quirk, right? It's not a character flaw. And it's definitely not somebody who ghosted you after having about 2 or 3 dates with you. That's not how you define a narcissist. You can't say, okay, well, he didn't enjoy the date with me. He's a narcissist. That's why he never called me back, or that's why he left me on red. That's why she never called me back. That's why she never engaged with me, or whatever. Da, 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 da. No, that's not what a narcissist is. I say this because too many people are calling a selfish person a narcissist. There is a complete difference between the two, right? Narcissistic personality disorder is actually a clinical diagnosis called NPD. Usually, they have an inflated, very, very fragile sense of self. Y'all see me slowing down? Hey, Miss Forbes, how you doing? I got to slow this down, y'all. They have an ego. This is a narcissist that we're describing. They have an ego that is made of glass. You touch them, that break up, that's it, right? They have a really deep need for admiration from other people and attention from other people. They have a major lack of empathy. They can't empathize, right? They're also very manipulative. They also try to exploit people in their relationships. Now, we talked about, that could be in your family, that could be in your work, that could be in your church, that could be, there was something I missed. There was a workplace, family, and in your relationships. This could be someone maybe that you're married to or was married to, someone that you're dating, someone that you're in a relationship with. So they will try to exploit those relationships, right? They usually fantasize, and this is so crazy, right? They usually fantasize about power or power over people, massive amounts of success. They are hyper reactive. We talked about this. They're hyper reactive to criticism, mostly because of that ego that's made of glass we talked about. I want to explain this to you. A narcissist, let me go back. Scientifically, persons who have NPD, that's narcissism. Let me reread that. Yeah, narcissistic personality disorder. I really didn't want to make that up right now. Have specifically reduced gray matter in their brains, and it's a part of their brains that's tied to emotional empathy. So if someone is truly diagnosed with it, they genuinely cannot empathize. They genuinely don't have empathy, right? A narcissist is someone or a person who has an excessive interest in themselves. Now, this can seem very close to someone who is selfish. This can seem very close to someone who is self-centered, but because they both prioritize their own needs. Narcissism, on the other hand, is a more severe pathological form of self-centeredness, right? I have to give you all of these definitions to set a foundation so that we're all on the same page, right? Like I said, today's topic is charmed, manipulated, controlled. Now, most of the topics that we do here on the shift come from some sort of thought. I saw it somewhere on social media. I was just thinking, driving, something, right? There is a post by Pastor Clarice Thompson, and she says, a narcissist female/male will help you lose your mind and ask you how you get to that point. I'm not done, but I'm just going to go back over it. A narcissist, male or female, will, and she has in bracket, help you lose your mind and then ask you, like, how you get to that point. Or always surprised at your reaction to the madness and messiness that they have caused. And she goes on in the post to say, Lord, protect the minds and the hearts of your people. Have you ever had a conversation with someone and, they are flat out rude, they are flat out self-centered, they, they poke and provoke you, and then when you give what we described here, the reaction, when you set your boundary, when you decide to disengage, they look at you like, how you get to this point? I would never believe that you would really lash out like this. Why would you even respond this way? I did nothing. And they have this beautiful way of making you feel like you crazy. You have, like, listen, to the point where it's you start to doubt if this really happened. So much so they can manipulate you so good that you start to question your, like, did that really happen? Did I really give that off? Did I really say that? Did I really Okay. Now, we have to find some scripture to back this up. And I want to use this one, right? And I never looked at it this way until, preparing for today's show. And it is the story of the prodigal son. This is found in Luke 15:25-32. But of course, I'm not going to go through all of that. Just you can read it in your spare time, right? So this is the prodigal son's oldest brother. We know the story. Prodigal son, take all the thing, gone with pigs, come back. The father to the Oh, wow, this is a really paraphrased story, right? The father's at the door. That's how I see it in my mind. The father's at the door, watching the son come from a mile off. And, he has all of these gifts to give to the son. And I'm so glad that you're back. I'm so glad that you're boom, 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 boom. And the oldest brother is like, how? How could someone just take all of their inheritance, right, for lack of a better word, all of their possessions before you die, father, because this was supposed to come after his death, right? Took all of his possessions, all of his inheritance, literally spent it all, comes back broke, and then you could turn around and say, come? And as I begin to studies show that the prodigal son's older brother struggled with narcissistic traits. And that is envy. That is entitlement. That is the lack of empathy. When you are someone who lacks empathy, it means that you cannot relate to someone else's feelings. And I'm going to give you a definition so that we're all on the same page, and I have it here. When you lack empathy, I feel like I can't find it. Okay, I'm going to find a definition by definition so that we're all on the same page. When you lack empathy, you cannot relate to someone else's feelings. It's different from sympathy, right? But when you lack empathy, you literally saying, okay, I don't understand why you feel that way. I can't relate, but God bless you anyhow. I got to find it. There we go. Empathy is sorry, a lack of empathy. There we go. Lack of empathy is the inability to understand others. A person who lacks empathy may struggle to understand other people's feelings, problems, life, or situations. They have difficulty regulating their emotions. So I wanna pause right there. Do you have you ever encountered someone who lacks empathy? Would you describe that person as a narcissist, or would you say that that person is just selfish? We all have different examples where we have experienced narcissism, right? So while you think about that question, I'm going to give you some examples. You know that person that no matter what story you share, they, anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you. No, I can't. Yes, I can. That person has to have one up on you, right? So if you say, Lord, I have to stop laughing. If you say, I got a new car. Oh yeah, new car? Child, I already had 90 new cars. How? If you say, okay, I got this promotion, they'll quickly jump up and say, well, I have been promoted at least 15 times. You're just being promoted. Promotion for me is just like whatever, because I especially in the workplace, they would say things like, what, you really just trying to be up under the manager because you want a promotion? Listen to me, promotion, damn, don't worry about them around your day. And they have a whole story of how, they promotion only comes if you do this or if you do that, and they can't fathom how you would have that amount of favor, how you would have that amount of influence, maybe just coming on a job or maybe after being on a job after a while. So that's the person, that's one example who, gotta always have one up. They always gotta have something going for themselves, right? 2, the spotlight hog. Okay. At gatherings, they will constantly, and you may find this more in the family example, they constantly turn every conversation back to themselves. Constantly. So, for example, if you're at someone's birthday party, right? And let's say it's your birthday, and they would just get up and make I made a post about this. They would just get up and just tell stories about their own achievements. They will, hey Crystal, they will literally make everything about them. They will use the most, it could be a funeral, and they will go up on the mic and say, we bless God. Hey Junior, we bless God for so and so, but I just really want to talk about how oh, Jesus, y'all ain't gonna like this today. I know, it's tight, I know. 3, the gaslighter. They will twist the truth to make you doubt yourself. And I talked about this earlier. And maybe you could give me some other example of someone, just displaying narcissistic traits, right? Or someone trying to gaslight you. So they will twist the truth and make you doubt yourself. So let's say you catch them lying, right? They would say things like, that did not happen. I did not say that. That's all in your, no, I could have never, you, Paulette, you sure? Joinae, you sure? Alan, no way. I could have never said that to you. And they say things like, oh, well, but This is how you're being very sensitive. You're being very, you're overreacting. It's not that big. They'll always try to find a way to minimize what you feel, and that there is the lack of empathy. They cannot understand someone else's emotions, nor do they care about someone else's emotions. I want you to think about this. Anytime that you or someone you know have encountered a narcissist, it never starts off bad. I could count, you could count it 99 times out of 100. It never starts off bad. They will love you, they will praise you, they will admire you, they will stroke your ego, they will tell you everything, and this is the love bombing process. So there may be a female listening today saying, "Man, Joinae, you know something? That dude, he catch me good. He catch me good. He loved bombing. We was traveling. We was going to the movies. We was going to dinner. He would surprise me. He would just show up at my job with flowers. And, he loved bombing me to pieces. And then 1 minute, he just stopped texting me. Jesus. Listen to the crickets. Great God. Hiya. Or let's take it out of that kind of relationship. Maybe a friend. You can meet someone with an intoxicating personality. Y'all two hit it off from bat. This person, everything that they like, you like. Y'all have the same desires. You may be in the same field. You may, like to do this or like to do that. And you're just so enamored by their, personality, and you just love them. You can't and then all of a sudden, you can't hear from them. All of a sudden, that helpful auntie that when her and your daddy or your mommy fall out, you don't hear from them no more. That one. That cousin? That we all have those cousins growing up, right? Especially females, right? We want to go to the mall. Well, I don't know if the mall's still a thing no more. The mall ain't a thing anyway. We want to go to Fusion. We want to go to the mall. And there's that cousin that does everything right. And then suddenly, this person just turns. That is the love bomber. They will love you, overwhelm you with compliments, attention. Then suddenly later, they will pull away, leaving you confused. And it's a manipulation tactic really to get you to draw closer to them. They want you to now chase them. They want you to now okay, well, you just, is there something that no. Okay. Then there is the credit thief. And you may find this more so in a work environment, right? And they will say, Chris will say, yes. The credit thief at work, they take credit for people's ideas or their projects. You working dead hard, working all kind of overtime. And the one morning, you oversleep. You have to be to work for 9, you show up 9:30. This credit thief, mind you, you work OT the night before, that's the reason why you overslept. By the time as you get into work, by the time, y'all ain't gonna like this, by the time as you get to church, they done up talking to pastor, they done talking to the boss, they done talking to everybody saying, well, you see what happened was Crystal started the idea, but what I really did was I had to swoop in. God, why this funny? I have to stop, right? I had to swoop in. For those on Facebook, y'all could see, and on YouTube, y'all could see, I had to swoop in and save the day and really reel it back in, because I'm all for the company. I am all for this. I am all for this movement. I understand the vision you have here. And they will thief the credit. They will thief the credit. You don't even know the credit and thief. Yeah. Although I am making light of it, these are real life scenarios that happen If not all of these things have happened, at least one or two of these things has happened to you, either in your family, either on your job, either in your church. What's another one? In relationships, in friendships, dealing with that toxic ex. Okay. Now let's go a little deeper. Then we have the victim narcissist. They will always make themselves the victim to avoid responsibility. I want to just pivot a little, and this really ties to emotional accountability and responsibility. Emotional accountability is taking ownership of your own emotions and being mindful of how they impact others, while, on the contrary, emotional responsibility is about taking action to address the consequences that your emotions and reactions have on others. So when you take emotional responsibility and accountability, you're saying, man, listen, I see how, this, what I did, this, what I said may have played a negative role. I recall watching this TikTok, and he talked about spiritual gaslighting, and he was just really talking about, like, in the context of when you are a leader and you know that something was wrong, but you refuse to apologize and just move on like something, like it never happened, like you never made a person feel away, or you never boom boom boom. He said that is I guess a definition or a trait of spiritual gaslighting. And I don't want you to think that today I'm only highlighting the things that narcissists do, but I want you to take this moment as a moment of introspection, really, to really recognize some of the narcissistic traits that we have within ourselves, where we feel entitled, where we feel like, we deserve credit for a particular thing. And I read earlier the story about the prodigal son, and there's another story in the Bible where I think it's when David was at Ziklag, right? And, the story, shall I pursue, overtake, and recover all? And when he gathered the army of men, there was some of them, when he got to a particular brook, I can't remember it, right? But he got to a particular brook, and they was like, something, David, we can't go in this fight with you. So David was like, okay, cool, no problem. And he took the people who were willing. He took the people who were ready to go and pursue, overtake, and recover all, as the Lord told him. But when they came back with all of their wives and the children and etc. and all of the goods, etc., these same people wanted their stuff. And some of the men that went out and fought with him was like, David, I mean, these people abandoned us when we were on the way to fight or get our things back and pursue, overtake, and recover all. We feel that they're not entitled, they don't deserve to have anything. And a lot of times, if we are honest, there are some fights that we fight, there are some things that we do, there are some accomplishments that we have, that we feel, listen, I mean, you didn't work for this. I am not entitled to give, I am not entitled to share. And based on these definitions, not by me, based on these definitions, that is a trait of a narcissist. It's beyond being selfish, but it moves into narcissism when you are saying, man, listen, I'm the entitled one. The rules don't apply to me. I can do whatever I want to do, how I want to do it, and I don't care about the consequences, nor do I care about how the people around me are affected by this. And this is what we talked about earlier with the lack of empathy. When you have it's an inability, or you find it difficult understanding other person's feelings, or, relating to their emotions or relating to what they feel. And if you are honest, you are guilty of love bombing someone. When you got into that relationship with that girl that you dumped, you was all in a DM. You was messaging her. When she wake up, we have the emoji, good morning, sunshine. Yeah, talk about it. Hey, beautiful, just checking on you. that you were the one texting him and saying, hey, handsome, just checking on you, making sure you're having a great day at work. You know that friend that you love bomb, that you were so enamored and intoxicated by their personality that you say, you know something, I really want to be friends with you. I really want, we level, we meet, we get this. And then suddenly you drop them like a hot body. You drop them out of nowhere. And then when they don't chase you, when they don't run after you, you turn around, pull the victim card and say, oh, well, you just don't check for me no more. Oh, well, you just don't love me no more. Boy, you used to always come and try. No, when you decided to love bomb, when you decided to charm me, you charmed me with your, oh Lord, I people of God, if you text in, you cannot send me a voice note while I'm on air. I can't listen to the voice note. But please type what you are saying. I want to read what you're saying on air. Please, 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 right? You cannot expect, and this is what Pastor Thompson was saying. She said, and I don't want to misquote her, right? She said, a narcissist will help you lose your mind and then ask you, like, how you get there. You cannot, and this is the part that I really wanted to focus on, because yes, it's all fun and games for us to talk about, you know, the narcissists that we deal with and the people that love bomb us and the people that manipulated us and the people that try to control or manipulate us, the people, you know, and we have the list literally goes on, or the people that tries to steal the credit when you do all the work, or the people that try play the victim role, but you yourself are guilty of playing that victim role, because you want to avoid, or you struggle with pride so much that you want to avoid responsibility, where you feel entitled to the things that, or feel entitled to special treatment, feel entitled to being perceived or received in a particular way. And this can be dangerous, because every time we talk about narcissism, every time we talk about someone who is selfish, we refuse to turn the gun on ourselves. We refuse to highlight the areas of our lives that need some fine-tuning, that need some shaping, that need some control, that needs some discipline. And you know, I know that it would be quiet today simply because it's a very sensitive topic. It's a very sensitive topic to talk about, because everyone wants to call someone a narcissist but don't want to acknowledge the traits of narcissism that we display. I'll just let that sink in. When you are someone, and you know, there's two sides to the coin, right? So let's say, just for conversation's sake, you don't have any of these traits. Fine, great, love it for you, right? How to identify someone when they are trying to charm you. Now, there's a very thin line, right? Because it could really make you paranoid, because you could easily feel like, okay, this person being too nice, this ain't right, something with the story ain't adding up, and then you suddenly pull away, right? Fine. This requires discernment. You literally have to discern the intent. You remember when we talked about triangulation, right? Remember when we talked about, you know, being responsive versus being reactive? When you are dealing with someone who is a narcissist, and I want to slow down right here. When you are dealing with someone who is a narcissist, you are going to be tempted to defend yourself. You're going to be tempted to say, that's not me. That's not what I'm like. That's not what I meant. That's not what I was trying to say. That's not what I was trying to do. And in some way, shape, or form, that person is going to be like, oh no, they're going to take you down this dark rabbit hole of victim, of, blame shifting, the blame game, the gaslighting, the projection. I want you to even consider, and we talked about projection before, consider, there are a lot of people that project and don't know that they're projecting, and there are some people that, do it without knowing that they're doing it. But usually what you would do or how you would feel is the emotion that you want to project onto someone, whether voluntarily or involuntarily, right? Hear me out. If you are someone that may be really gifted, let's say you're a really gifted musician, right? And you can play the guitar very well, right? And people constantly call you to play guitar. You play guitar internationally, locally, all of the good stuff, right? And then when you get around someone who is battling with low self-esteem, they would say something like, boy, you really proud, but boy, I don't know. I mean, you just look like you only into playing guitar. You look like you only into boom, 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 boom. And they would try to project their thoughts, because if they had the kind of access that you had, if they had the kind of gifting that you had, if they got all the calls, quote unquote, that you got, they would be prideful. They would feel that way. In the same way, if you're dealing with a narcissistic person and you try to defend yourself and say, well, no, I'm pretty down to earth. I'm not like that. You can come up to me and talk to me. We can have a normal conversation, because if you cut me and if they cut you, we both will bleed. When you try to defend yourself with them, they're going to find every which way to discredit everything that you said. And that is where the smear campaign comes in. And they would, based on this conversation or this interaction with you, they would go and they would say, I just spoke with Bob, and I remember speaking with him, and he was just so arrogant. He was just so full of himself, and we would say that person is egotistical. We would say that person is prideful, when the truth of the matter is we're not addressing the low self-esteem or addressing the projection. So when you try to defend yourself, this unlocks the smear campaign. They try to get everyone on their side against you. Or, flip side, you try to get everybody on your side against them. Don't defend yourself. Don't engage. A lot of times we try to go head on with narcissists. And the truth of the matter is, it's a losing game. You're going to lose. You're going to lose because they're going to pull you ever catch somebody in a lie, right? Let's say this is your boyfriend. You see all the messages in his phone. You see all the messages in her phone. She cutting up with this dude. He cutting up with this girl. And everything comes to light. Listen, my producer looking at me sideways, right? Everything cool. We all right? We cooking, right? And this person, when you call them out, let's say it's the female let's say it's the male who catches the female, right? You're the guy. Let's say your name is Bob. Bob catch Sally, red-handed. Women, y'all know we guilty. Well, watch it now. Hi, Brooke. Broke ice creaming. That's funny. Hi, nice to see you from Germany, listening from Germany, right? So catch her red-handed, see all the texts, see all the WhatsApp messages, all the archive chats, that right there. See all of that. And Sally Sue burst out crying. When I say crocodile tears, we need to get, what is it, an Emmy, an Oscar, whatever it is. You need it, a Grammy. You need it. You were the actress, supporting actress, the cast, the music director, the wardrobe, everything, because you have to pull out the tears. You pull out the tears and say, "Oh my God, how could you attack me or feel like I would even do something like this to you?" But what it really is that you really hurt me from the first time you meet me. You hurt me. Like, watch it now. You hurt me from 1900. You hurt me, and this is the reason that I had to go. What you see right there, he was just really trying to help me work through my emotions. I have to stop, right? He just was trying to help me work through all of what I'm feeling. You made me this way. I would not have text him if you'd have treated me better. Oh yeah, let's go there. She would not have text me or check on me if you'd have bring me to lunch. You don't even tell me you love me. She's telling me she loved me every day. Now mind you, you getting tricked because she love bombing you anyway because she won't take all your money. But all right, that's neither here nor there, right? Right? But when you try to, and this is my point. This is the point that I'm making, although I'm making light of it. The point that I'm trying to nail you late. The point that I'm making is, no matter how much evidence, how much receipts, how much screenshots you have, that manipulator, that narcissist will always have some sort of excuse, some blame shifting, some victim role they're going to play to manipulate you. You know why? Don't engage. Don't engage because people know exactly what they be doing. Moving on. Our time is almost come and gone, and I'm having too much fun with this topic, right? Don't defend yourself. Don't engage. Don't explain. See, that's half of it. We half of the church gone right there, because what you mean don't explain? A YouTube commenter says our dating culture is built in manipulation. I have to agree. You know a part of that too, where like let's say it's a male and female, right? And he know he's a manipulator. I'm just using this as an example. So he would start to, there's a word for it, but I cannot remember it right now, right? But they start to mirror your likes and your dislikes. So if he wants to manipulate you, let's say you're a Christian girl trying to date and y'all go to Applebee's, right? Y'all go to Applebee's and he know. He doesn't like a particular thing, but because he wants to manipulate you, to love bomb you, to get you in a particular whatever, to charm you, he would start to mirror certain things. So if you say, I'm a Christian, he said, oh yeah, I go to church every Sunday. My pastor I was in Bible study. My pastor, mind you, he listened to Bishop Denzel right on the radio. But anyway, we give God praise. Right? My pastor just talking Bible study about boom, boom, boom. And and here are the lines now. He ended up talking about what you believe is so crazy. And I believe that God, and they have the language. I believe God caused this moment to happen because he talked about when a man find a wife. Love bomb. You done gone crazy. Your head done spinning because how could you read me like that? I just you know that I'm just looking for a husband. I'm just looking for someone to call my helpmate. A YouTube commenter says, should we also add, don't expect, just analyze and receive? Boy, this. I see, y'all, if all those who were locked in with me earlier in today's show, and maybe my producer can attest to this. Earlier in today's show, I said, shifters, you love to come when it's 8 minutes to the hour, when it's 10 minutes to the hour, with all of the. You have to start doing me like this, you know. I ready to tell my story. I ready to just lay it all down. It's all right. It's all right. This is my last point, and we're gonna move. Maybe we're going to touch this topic again, and I'll hopefully have a guest with me on this topic so that we could have a different perspective. But first thing, don't defend yourself with a narcissist. Do not engage. And you may be saying, okay, Joinae, this is someone that I have to have interaction with. This is a coworker. This is a family member. This is a parent. Do not engage. When I say do not engage, I'm not saying don't have a relationship with them. I'm not saying, don't talk to them, don't anything. I'm saying don't engage in the conversation that's going to lead to you lashing out, because that's all that they get a high off of it. They get a high off of it. And it's so funny because a YouTube commenter says blisters, they come when all the hard work is done and over with. Call them blisters. I scream it, right? I'm saying this. If you know that someone is a manipulator, if you know that someone is a narcissist, or you know that someone is going to try and get you out of character, get you in your feelings, pull on all of your emotions at once, whether it's a friend, whether it's a spouse, whether it's a co-worker, whether it's someone in your church, whether it's a leader, whether it's just someone passing by, when you see that, when you have your eyes open to that, when your discernment is on high, when your discipline is on high, you choose not to engage. I see what you're doing, and we're not going there. And your silence, you know something that I watched this video on TikTok, and they talked about, when dealing with disrespect. And there were a few, but I only could remember two, right? So the first one was repeat exactly what the person said. You repeat exactly what they said. So a scenario would be, hey, you look really good today. And you say, I look really good today. Is that what you really wanted to say? And 5 seconds of silence. Either, depending on the magnitude of what you're dealing with, either they're going to say, okay, well, why you respond that way? I just saying you look good. Or they're going to say, no, I didn't mean it that way. I was just saying that you look nice. And you would respond with the compliment, thank you for complimenting me. They want you to engage. They want to get, and this is something that I want you to pay attention to. Pay attention not to what people say, but how they want you to feel when they say what they say. Because that statement was meant to make you question, well, okay, I didn't look good before. My hair wasn't fixed before. My makeup wasn't right before. My clothes wasn't right before. Do not engage. Do not explain yourself. No explanation would be enough. Look, YouTube commenters say, let them go. Even if it's your dog, let them go. Holy Ghost. Right? My last point as we wrap up today's show, don't personalize what they're doing to you. If you feel like this is just something, this is just only directed to you, if they are displaying any of these traits, or if you are displaying any of these traits, it will show up in other areas. Let me give you an example. Oh boy. Let's just say someone is known for a particular behavior. Boy. I'm just gonna leave that alone. But let's say you're known for a particular behavior, and you are rude to Alan. You're rude to the YouTube commenter. You're rude to Joinae. And Joinae takes it personal. That's the wrong way to take it. Because their attitude, their passive aggressive compliments, their manipulation, their charm, their control. Thank you. Their charm and their control is not tailored toward you only. It's in every area of their life. So if this is someone who has children, if this is someone who has a spouse, you will see these traits show up in those other relationships as well. Listen, I could literally go on and on about this, but our time has come and gone, and it's not your only opportunity. We're definitely going to part to this because we have just literally scratched the surface of narcissism. Today's topic was charm, manipulation, control. We're going to go back at it. Please make a special note. I'm going to get to all of your texts. I got a few texts that you didn't want me to read online, so that's fine. But I got your text. Thank you for all those that tuned in via Glory 93.9 FM, all those on Facebook, YouTube, and of course, our worldwide listeners. Thank you for keeping it locked and always loaded. Thank you so much. I'm going to say Berlin, a YouTube commenter. Thank you so much, Joinae. Thank you, Crystal, everyone, Junior, Miss Paulette, everyone who tuned in to today's show. Of course, the anonymous texters. I got all of your messages, and we are going to keep this topic locked and loaded. I'm not sure when I'm going to go back at it. Monique Mud Brown say, see you later, LOL. But we're definitely going to go back at this. But our time today has come and gone, but it's not your only opportunity. Every Monday through Friday, same time, same place, favorite station, favorite person, right here on Glory 93.9 FM, and that is The Shift. I am so excited to always have these wonderful, insightful, thought-provoking conversations with you, and of course, jokes, because y'all know you gotta akiki at least once or twice, right? But until next time, I want to say thank you to all of the commenters, all those that listened. Until next time, don't forget, you are the shifter. Keep it locked and always loaded to your favorite station. Until tomorrow, enjoy.
You've been in this place long enough. I'm telling you, this is your time to get up. Get up, get up, get up. Get up out of that grave. Jesus already defeated death, hell, and the grave. I'm telling you, you gotta get up. Get up, get up, get up. Get up out of that grave. I need somebody to make some noise tonight. Tell somebody you're gonna see it. Y'all ready? You've been down too long. Buried beneath your shame, you've been wondering if troubles will last always. But I'm so glad, that dark nights come to end. So don't worry, my friend, only a matter of time. It'll be morning. Tell your neighbor, just tell them, get up and live. Down too long. Somebody catch it and just raise it. Buried beneath your shame. Say, you've been wondering, yeah, troubles will last on. But I'm so glad, yes I am. Dark nights come true. So don't worry, my friend, only a matter of time. It'll be morning. Don't sit still, tell somebody, just tell them. You came down right here early. Oh, yeah, you got to live. Say, get up and live. Well, here we go. This is what the Lord told me. And I heard the Lord say that He's already on the grave. So guess what? So you don't have to stay there. Get up now. Don't delay. Raise it together.